Hundreds of members of the Indian diaspora gathered in Manhattan to join the Cockroach Party protest supporting a Gen Z-led movement in India that has already forced the resignation of the country's education minister. I'm your host, and this is the story of how a satirical political party sparked one of the largest anti-corruption demonstrations in India in years, and how that movement jumped oceans to land in Union Square. On Friday, an estimated 500 people stood before the statue of Mahatma Gandhi in Union Square, chanting "We will take our freedom" in Hindi. It was one of two protests held in the park last week. Among them was Arsh Chauhan, a 25-year-old finance student at Baruch College who describes himself as apolitical. But after watching videos of police in India beating protesters, he said he felt compelled to act. "There's a limit to everything," he told reporters. The New York demonstrations are part of a global wave. Parallel protests have erupted in Los Angeles, London, Prague, Berlin, and Vancouver, all inspired by events in India where tens of thousands of Gen Z and millennial Indians took to the streets this month in one of the largest demonstrations against corruption in years. The movement centers on the Cockroach Janata Party, a satirical political party formed in May by Abhijit Dipk, a 30-year-old Boston University graduate. Despite its tongue-in-cheek name, the party has presented one of the most significant challenges to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's power during his 12-year rule. The diaspora protests target both Modi and the education system, focusing on corruption in education and the lack of job opportunities for young Indians. On Saturday, the movement claimed a major victory when India's education minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, resigned. The Cockroach Party has asked protesters to withdraw while it enters discussions with the government about broader education reforms. But members of the diaspora say they'll continue to organize in support of the student movement. Sunita Vishwanath, executive director of Hindus for Human Rights, which led protests in the US, Britain, and Australia, said, "In the past week, the global Indian diaspora spontaneously organized diverse solidarity rallies, large and small, all over the world. We have seen just how much our community wants to come together in support of the growing student movement in India, and we will continue to organize solidarity rallies." Protesters in New York described feeling outrage watching scenes from home play out on their phone screens, and frustration with what they call shrinking space for dissent in India. Deepti Balwani, a 37-year-old who once worked as a teacher in an Indian government school, put it simply, "I wish I was in India right now." That's the latest on the Cockroach Party protests and the global diaspora response. Thanks for listening.